and we're on our way back home, driving through the Canadian Rockies. Over the weekend, of course, I learned, to the shock and amazement of most in America, that Joe Biden was right now dropping out and turning things over to Kamala Harris. And I want to ask you a question. Do you approve of legalized prostitution? Even if it's euphemistically referred to as sex workers? Well, Kamala Harris is in favor of it. In fact, I had saved on my phone the transcript of a press conference which she did back on July the 10th. And she was asked point blank, do you approve of legalized prostitution? And she said yes. In fact, she pointed out that 15 years ago, as a DA, she approved of it and believed that prostitution should not be ever criminalized. So she said, I approve of the decriminalization of sex workers. But of course, we're talking about prostitutes. Well, what are the ramifications of that? Well, the governor of New York is seriously considering it. Chuck Schumer has come out in favor of it, as have many Democrats. I don't know if any Republicans have. Might be a good question to ask President Trump, ex-President Trump, that many think is going to be the next president, if he believes in it. But let's consider this for a moment. Legalizing prostitution. In fact, she went on to say she believed that all consensual sexual relationships should be legalized. Wait a minute. What about an 18-year-old girl who is a victim of incest of her father? Who's to say that's consensual or not? What about polyamory, where you have more than one person involved in a sexual relationship that many are now saying should be legalized? What about polygamy? What about bigamy? I mean, the list goes on and on. What is it that we agree should be consensual and non-consensual, and criminalized or decriminalized? I will tell you point blank, I do not believe that prostitution should be decriminalized. The ramifications of this are horrifying in terms of the effect it would have upon marriages and homes. It's going to make prostitution just that much easier to acquire, and it's going to make the people who many times the prostitutes are sex workers who are living in very criminal or drug-addled conditions much more vulnerable to be exploited. This is a horrible position to take, in my opinion. But that's my opinion, and I would really be interested in knowing what you think about the next Democrat, presumably, who is going to be running for president, Kamala Harris, now that Biden has stepped aside, what you think about her position on decriminalizing prostitution.